Well, it's finally that time of year again. The thirstiest time of year for gift giving, consumerism, fun winter activities, and watching all kinds of holiday themed movies and specials. Now, for about 2 years, I've been making videos talking about obscure Christmas movie games for the Game Boy Advance. So I think it's only natural that I finish off my trilogy of videos by talking about the only other Christmas movie game that my old friend Lando talked about 4 years ago. With that, here's the Santa Claus 3 The Escape Clause for Game Boy Advance. But before I talk about the actual game, here's a bit of history or whatever. I don't know. The Santa Claus is a 1994 film released by Disney and starring Tim Allen, and it was pretty successful and well received. With that success came 2 sequels, a Disney Plus show, and today's topic, a video game. Now, prior to making this video, I've basically never watched The Santa Claus, or any of its sequels for that matter. Aside from catching an airing of the first film on CBC back in like 2011, where all I remember was Santa falling off the roof. But I did buy the entire trilogy sealed on Blu-ray at my local thrift store for dirt cheap and eventually gave them a watch. I didn't watch the Disney Plus show. But now it's time to talk about the only video game that came out of this franchise. Strange that it took until 2006 for a game to come out, and on the Game Boy Advance of all systems, not too long after the DS came out. But whatever, you can still play this on a DS either way. And plus I guarantee that the developers only chose the GBA because it was probably dirt cheap to develop for, and a lot of its install base was mostly children, hence the amount of licensed games released for the GBA. So anyways, the game itself was developed by First Playable Productions, which according to the most reliable source, the Rio Fan Wiki, is a studio that was founded by former Vicarious Visions employees who left after it was bought by Activision. Their catalog includes some educational stuff and some of the most prestigious video games ever made, such as Cooking Mama Cookstar, some portable Ben 10 games, and the award-winning Victorious on DS. They also worked on various Disney games, including some of the final games released for the DS. Now, much like a lot of other movie tie-in games on GBA, the game's plot follows the movie, with it revolving around Santa needing to stop Jack Frost from taking over Christmas, while being told through very grainy and compressed stills from the movie, with broken up sentences that can be funny out of context. Every generation or so, the job of being, further notice, we are a Canadian. Scott Calvin was that worthy soul. Only he. That changed Scott forever. The red coat. Make some toys, wrap some presents, report to Curtis and stay out. I'm your man, Big Red. But while I'm waiting, let's cool. Well, this is just great. And the kitchen is in flames. In the game you play as Santa, who bears little resemblance to Tim Allen, and oh my god, again? Much like Polar Express and Elf on GBA, the game looks like ass. It's trying to go for a pre-rendered Donkey Kong Country style, but fails at it due to how unappealing it is to look at, unlike the Donkey Kong games, which have charm to their style and are just good games period, unlike these 3. So the game is of course a 2D side-scroller where you platform, collect objects, and get to the end of the level. I will say that the controls actually feel normal for once, unlike Polar Express, which has the R button as run for some fucking reason. You have a Jack-in-the-Box as your attack, and you're able to double jump and glide to other platforms, but for some reason you can only glide after one jump. I don't know why you can't double jump or glide at the same time, when goddamn Puffy Ami Yumi allowed you to do a triple jump and glide 2 years prior on the same fucking system. Also, for some reason, anytime you lose your health, Santa just freezes and transforms into a block of ice, Lego Batman style. Now, much like a lot of 2D platformers, there's various collectibles and power-ups, such as presents which allow you to spawn in a tank to blow up certain objects, hot chocolate which replenishes your health, a candy cane that gives you invincibility that is embarrassingly short. Like holy fuck, I thought the Polar Express was laughable with the length of its invincibility power-up, but this is downright unforgivable with how short the invincibility is. Like it's shorter than the amount of time it takes to fucking blink. There's also these snow globes that literally do nothing, and whenever you collect certain objects like the snow globe, it makes this annoying sound that sounds like it's saying taxi, and it just drives you insane after a while because it's pretty much one of the only few things you'll be hearing aside from the mediocre and unmemorable music in this game. There's also cookies, which are the main collectibles in this game, sort of like the coins in Mario, and each level has 40 cookies you need to collect. And what exactly do you get for collecting all 40 cookies in each level? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That means collecting all of these cookies is pretty much fucking pointless. Unless you want a 100% completion rate or something like that. I have no idea why anyone would ever want to 100% complete this game, but go figure, I guess. You know, I think a good incentive for collecting all these cookies and maybe the snow globe would be for an extra life, sort of like Mario or any fucking good 2D platformer for that matter. But guess what? The game doesn't even have a life system. Like, did the developers make this game for fucking toddlers or something? I mean, shit, a game like Puffy Ami Yumi had lives, and that game was made for kids. Oh wait, I forgot, Santa Claus 3 was a game made for literal toddlers. And the game itself is really short. Like Hour at the Beach short with 6 chapters and 4 levels each, with 2 to 3 acts in each level that take around a minute to beat. You know, I gotta wonder if this game has a speedrunning community due to how short the game is. I mean, probably not, because it's fucking Santa Claus 3 for Game Boy Advance. Now after beating a chapter, you play these 2 minigames where you collect random objects as an elf who can't get hit once for whatever reason. And another where you deliver presents in Santa's sleigh, while dodging the wind which can stun you for a bit. But that doesn't even matter because I'm fairly certain that you can't lose in this game due to how piss easy it all is. You know, these 2 filler minigames are quite possibly some of the most coolmathgames.com filler I've ever seen since those random levels in GBA Elf. Actually, even saying that feels like an insult to all the bangers you'd find on Cool Math Games or any of those old Flash game websites you may have went on as a kid, because they were certainly more memorable than fucking Santa Claus 3 on GBA. By World 3 and for the rest of the game, you're stuck playing as vanilla Tim Allen in 2D side-scrolling Tim Allen Simulator or some shit like that, I don't know, whatever Lando said. Which means you lose your ability to glide, Breath of the Wild style. Due to Martin Short going back in time to the first Santa Claus movie to make sure that Scott Calvin doesn't become Santa. That's right, Martin Short goes back in time to 1994 to make sure that Scott Calvin doesn't become Santa. Yeah, despite the game being called The Santa Claus 3, you don't even get to play as Santa for most of the game. Hell, not even for the first 3 worlds. Scott is only able to throw snowballs and that is literally it. You do the same things you were previously doing, just without your ability to glide and having to deal with these security guards who are invincible to your snowballs. Also, they instantly kill you and have you start at the beginning of the level, which could get annoying after a while. Actually saying that they kill you doesn't even work because the game has no life system. Because this is a game made for literal toddlers. Actually, now that I think about it, what toddler would even find this game interesting because it's boring as fuck? I mean, sure, the game tries to have variety with the minigames and a few auto-scrollers, but does that even help with how fucking monotonous and boring the game gets? Especially after playing it twice. So by the end of the game, you have the only boss fight in the entire game, where all you do is throw snowballs at Martin Short, who sounds like Mr. Boss whenever he gets hit. All you do is dodge his attacks and avoid him. That's it. Like, this is some World 1 type boss fight shit you'd see in most games, not the final boss and level of the game. I mean, fucking Boom Boom in Mario 3 was more intimidating than this. After that, Scott becomes Santa again and the game just ends. Like, holy shit, I knew the game was an hour long, but I was legit shocked when the game just ended so abruptly the first time I played it. The only other thing to mention in the game is that for whatever reason, there's a sleep option that literally just turns the game off without turning off the system. Like, what's the point? I can literally turn the game console off just fine. There's no reason for this option. So in the end, what the hell was I expecting? Santa Claus 3, much like Polar Express, is just a nothing game that exists. While I consider it to be the best of the 3 GBA Christmas movie games, that doesn't mean anything because this game is comparable to reindeer shit. Sure, it's better than Polar Express and miles better than Elf. Alright, I get it! But does that mean anything when the game is only a 2 out of 10 at best? The game is just painfully boring, repetitive, and forgettable bargain bin material. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got this game for free from my local game store as part of a deal they have, because there is no way in hell anyone is ever gonna buy this game willingly other than me. Or I don't know, maybe someone will actually buy this game after watching this video. Anyways, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year's, Happy Lunar New Year's, Happy Valentine's Day, Happy 30th anniversary of Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore, Happy St. Patrick's Day, Happy Easter, and Happy Mallrats Day.